Hello, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts Shipyard Champions. It is time for Season 3. Let's first go through the scoreboard for Season 2. And in 8th place, we got Stealth 17 with 28 points. He did join the Shipyard Champions season halfway through, so that considered, 28 points is not bad. In 7th place, we got Brother Monroe with 34.5 points. In 6th place, Lost Galaxy Gaming, 37.5 points. 5th place, Moist Tea Gaming, 40 points. 4th place, Raquin 87, 43.5 points. In 3rd place, Poon Iron Wolf with 44 points. 2nd place, Ulayiri, 45.5 points. And tied for 1st, we got Brosili and myself with 46 points. So, yeah, tied for 1st. I think that was pretty nice. Now, today's challenge, you'll be taking command of a German task force consisting of the Kriegsmarine's Pride of the Fleet, Battleship or Battlecruiser. I went with Battleship. A heavy cruiser, a few light cruisers, escorted by a handful of DDs. You will be facing against the Great Royal Navy with 2 King George V-class battleships, 1 Hood-class Battlecruiser, 3 County-class heavy cruisers, 2 Minotaur-class Light Cruisers, escorted by 7 D-class destroyers. Your objective is to sink as many of the Royal Fleet's capital ships as possible, with the secondary yet optional objective of surviving. My own fleet, year 1930, Germany of course, 1 battleship or battlecruiser, 1 heavy, 3 lights, 4 DDs, versus British Empire from 1925, 2 battleships, 1 battlecruiser, 3 heavy cruisers, 2 lights, 7 DDs. 32-kilometer range, cloudy, morning, shared designs always. I have made sure to remove any conflicting shared designs from my my shared design folder. Well, I think I have. We'll see how it works out. Scoring is 3 points for every British battleship or battlecruiser sunk, 2 points for every British heavy cruiser sunk, 1 point for every British light cruiser sunk, 1 point for sinking all DDs. So not 1 point for each, but 1 for all 7. 3 points if my battleship survives, 2 points if my heavy cruiser survives, 1 point if German light cruiser survives. Both of them, I think. And 1 point if all German destroyers survive. Optional, if computer cannot handle scenario, remove destroyers. I think we can handle this. Let's design some ships. So battleship first. I don't know why my ships are 1930 and the British are 1925, but that's what that's the challenge. Are there any limitations to the kind of battleship? It doesn't say I cannot build a super battleship. Okay, I'm gonna build a super battleship. Let's try and go 30 knots. Range can be reduced. It didn't give me a budget or anything, so I'm just gonna go with veterans. And we're gonna go with the uberest of funnels. Let's see, we can go oil 2, gear turbines 2. Might have to reduce that speed a little bit. That works. Now, what kind of guns can we put on a 1930s battleship? Mark III? Yeah, it's gonna be Mark III 16s. Mark IV 13s is tempting, but I think I'm gonna go with the 16s. You know what? New plan. I'm just gonna go with a modern battleship, and I'm gonna build what is basically, if you've been watching my German campaign, what is basically my Bismarck, which is certainly not the historical Bismarck. Oh, what the? There we go. What are you on about now? There we go. Yeah, veterans, oil 2, gear turbines 2. Still not amazing. Oh, let's go balanced. That works. Induced also works. And we're gonna go with the 16s, triple 16s. Can I make it bigger? Yeah, I can. Guess we're just gonna have to move my stuff around a little bit. There we go. Pretty much balanced. My engine efficiency went down. If I go 29 knots, yeah, that works. They have 7 DDs. I'm gonna go with Citadel 4 because Germany. They have 7 DDs. How much of a problem are torpedoes gonna end up being? I'm not sure. Increased ammo. I only have 1 battleship. It's gonna have to do the brunt of the work. I can pick Gen 2 radar. And what is interesting, I don't know if this was intentional, but the British ships are 1925. You cannot get a radar in 1925 for custom battles. It's only available from 1927 onwards. In 1930, you get radar generation 2, which is obviously very nice. Tube powder 2. Still some flash fire chance. 0.4 chance of a flash fire. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's put some armor on this thing. I'm gonna call it the Bismarck. It is obviously not a historical Bismarck, being quite a bit heavier and armed with more and bigger guns, but well, I can't just not call it the Bismarck. I think that's I think there are rules against that. As for armor, let's put some big boy armor on the turrets so they don't blow up. Put some big boy armor on the belt. 9 on the main deck. I think that will be enough. Citadel armor. Let's just make sure this thing is not penetrated. That way, as soon as the DDs are cleared, I can bring it in closer. Because, hang on. I'm just gonna read the scenario again. I'm thinking time is gonna be the tiebreaker, because it typically is. It didn't say so, but I'm guessing it is. 51 caliber. Let's make them 55s. I think that's plus 8%. Yeah, 55s. Gives me a bit more range, bit more accuracy. Deck pen maxes out at 35,000 meters. Let's get some secondary guns. Let's see, these are Mark IV. These are also Mark IV. Can I make them 5.9s? Yeah, I can. Because that's 150 millimeters. That's the historical secondary caliber for the Bismarck. Although she only had twins, not triples. 42... 47? How long can I make them? .49 caliber. There we go. Some actual useful range on those guns. Let's give them some armor as well. Now, these 4-inch, they can fit here. Let's make them 4.5s, so I can actually put armor on them. And let's make them 50 caliber. There we go. It's not a lot of armor you can put on them, but it is something. Now we got some weight to spare. Pull that out a little bit more. Give it better angles if I have to kite away. Yeah, let's just slap on more armor. The ship is overweight. That's good enough. That is my battleship done. Now, heavy cruiser. $20,000 tons. This one can go out to 21,000. I think I'm gonna go with that one. It's got more resistance. It only needs to go 29 knots, which is as fast as my battleship. Yeah, this one has better base accuracy. I'm gonna do what I did when I build something similar in my campaign. Although those ships have not seen service yet. Main guns, not side guns, centerline guns. Okay, it doesn't fit. Gonna go with that secondary tower then, and just use barbettes. I'm gonna pack some serious firepower on this cruiser. And then just try and balance things out. A little bit more balance would be nice. Oh, that's good enough. Oil 2. Gear turbines. Lots of engine efficiency. That is not a problem. We can even drop the range down even further. So this one is basically just gonna follow the Bismarck. Might need some torpedo protection. I'm gonna go with that citadel again. What kind of tower spotting do we have? Spotting range. Yeah. Plenty of tower spotting. Standard ratio, standard ratio. Let's go actually cap ballistic and cap ballistic 2, so it can penetrate heavy cruisers with its AP and DDs and maybe lights with its HE shells. Doesn't leave me with a lot of weight for armor. If I drop down the anti-torp a bit, now the turrets are super armored. They don't need to be that super armored. But I want at least 30-kilometer range on my main guns. 52. See if I can pump up those pen values. Yeah, that is pretty nice. Let's slap on some armor. How much armor can be slapped on these cruisers? Not quite that much. There we go. We got 100 tons left to play with for secondaries. I think these are too heavy. Yeah, big weight difference between 4 and 5-inch guns. Overweight. What can be reduced? Actually, if I go Citadel 5, that saves a bit of weight. There you go. Some secondaries. I want them to have some armor. So I don't just suffer a lot of crew casualties. And just put the rest of my displacement into barrel length for the secondaries, 50s. Decent range. Okay, that is my heavy cruiser. Let's design some light cruisers. I could have 3 of these. Which again is pretty nice. What kind of torpedo range is the best I can have? I just want to check if I can make these useful. 14.2, 12.1, 12.9 kilometer torpedo range. And these are electric, so they the AI might not spot them until it's too late. I'm not going to bother with torpedoes on light cruiser, but for the DDs, that is useful to know. Oh yeah, it's gonna drop down the range on this as well. I don't think it's gonna run out of fuel, which I have seen happen in custom battles. Oh, I can actually go faster. Okay. If you want to let me build a 39 knot light cruiser, then I might just do that. Crop 5. Oh yeah, let's get some guns. Both of these are Mark IV. Rate of fire difference between 5 and 6-inch guns, not that great, but it jumps quite a bit with the 7-inch guns, as does the weight. I'm gonna go with 6-inch guns. And make something that fires quickly. Increased HE. And same here, we're gonna go incendiary and semi. So the plan is it can use its semi-AP to sink DDs and incendiary to burn battleships. Picric acid. Actually, let's just go with 2 powder. Coincidence, sonar, radar. Now let's add on some armor. Turret armor, we can have a little bit more turret armor, so they don't explode. Barrel length. We can have quite a bit more barrel length, I think. Let's max it out. Which does reduce my my reload time, but it makes it possible for me to hit the enemy at a longer range. There we go, some better angles. I got more displacement to play with. So, you know, why not play with my displacement? And add on yet more armor. This is one chonky light cruiser. Okay, that's the cruiser done with. It doesn't have any secondaries. It's basically just a platform to sit at around 14 kilometers and pump out HE shells. DD. Yeah, let's go with that one. Can I make this go 39 knots? Yeah, no, the difference between 39 and 37.5 is actually not that great. Yeah. Curse of the German destroyer hulls. You are just very limited in where you can put stuff. I can put that there. Main guns. We're gonna go with 5-inch guns. And we're gonna go with torpedoes. And these are gonna be electric, 22-inch. That gives me 13-kilometer torpedo range. And the enemies might not see them before it's too late. Sonar. Do I need radar on my DDs? I mean, why not? And I do want some survivability. That might be a bit too much survivability. Drop one of the torpedo launchers. Because as long as I can keep all of them alive, I do get a point. We're gonna go picric acid. It doesn't save a lot of weight, but I think it's not a totally bad idea to just intend on launching one volley of torpedoes and then just treating them as gunboats from there on out. Just enough armor that they don't get slapped around too much by enemy HE. Is that good for my DD? I think it is. Let's just take a look at my my ships here. Make sure everything is okay. Put some more conning tower armor on you. Not a lot more, but some. Yeah. Maybe a little bit vulnerable to torpedoes with anti-torp 3, but seeing as the enemies are from 1925, I don't think they have amazing torpedo range. And because I've got radar too, I should be able to outspot those DDs by a lot. So, let's launch and see how it goes. Yeah, it didn't say building ships, so I assume it's actually using the share design ships. That does look like the Hood, and that does look like the attempt at the King George V. I did just take a brief look at them in the ship designer just to see if I got the right ships. Yeah. I think we're good. Let's organize my fleet. York, you're gonna just follow the Bismarck. DDs, you can, light cruisers, you can do some kind of scouting. I want my DDs formed up in a column. The enemy has not yet been spotted, despite my radar 2. But We know the starting range is 32 kilometers. Maybe if I had given the heavy cruiser the other tower, kind of Graf Spee looking tower, then I would be spotting them already, because that tower has amazing spotting range. The enemy has been spotted. It's gonna slow down my my light cruisers a little bit. Those must be the battleships, or are they? No. Those were not the battleships, those were the light cruisers. Let's see, 12.9. Okay, we got some torpedo range already. Let's pick targets. Aggressive launch. Got some torpedoes in the water. Okay, launch off. We are breaking off the attack for now. We have scored torpedo hits though. V2 launched its torpedoes and hit something a lot of times. Just gonna keep kiting away a little bit here. Yeah, that's good. I didn't quite have the angles. Those electric torpedoes are super slow. You are flooding. You can detach. Oh, there we go. 1 DD lost. So there goes that that point. We have gotten some torpedoes away. Okay, can't forget about my rest of my my fleet either. See if we can land some torpedoes on those battleships. That would be pretty nice. My heavy cruiser can focus on that DD. Bismarck, who are you shooting at? Well, you should be shooting at the Hood, of course. Go with AP maybe? See, Hood has tube powder and TNT-3. Would be nice if she had cordite or something that made her explode. That's kind of the meme. What kind of torpedo range do you have? 12.7. Okay. It's not too shabby. Let's just make them lose sight of my DDs. Because the AI kind of got it in its head that it had to pursue those DDs, and now they're not really in effective range of my gun line anymore. That was not really my intention, but it's what happened. Maybe I should have brought more torpedoes for these destroyers. There he goes. I'm flooding on the county, which does not have a lot of armor despite being a heavy cruiser. What are my light cruisers doing? Should bring them in and have them kill something. County went down. Yeah, you detach now. Are you not killing anything? Well, you are at max range. That explains it. I'm almost tempted to just send my DDs in to die, just so the AI stops following them. Yeah, that guy's gonna die now. It's probably not a bad thing, all things considered. Bismarck is now firing at 36 kilometers, so we are closing in. Like, the enemy really has a hard-on for those for those DDs. Okay, Bismarck, do you now have range to the hood? You do. Why don't you load AP? You've got semi-AP. It is useful. And here we go. We actually have the enemy in range now. You can actually pick auto if you want to. defender has surrendered. What kind of armor does Minotaur have? Not a whole lot. What kind of armor penetration do I have? Also not a whole lot. Gonna burn down the Minotaur. Extensive fire. There we go. Secondaries on the Suffolk. Meteor has sunk. And the Hood is also about to sink, although not from a flash fire, just from repeated hits. The Hood has sunk. Erin, next target. I was gonna take a thumbnail picture, but let's wait until it's actually starting to sink. I think that would look better. Just focus on the Suffolk. That was a big hit. Well, it sounded big. So I didn't get my point for keeping all my DDs alive, but I think I can keep the rest of my fleet alive. Now, are you sinking yet, Hood? Starting to sink. There we go. It seems the historically accurate Hood did not stand up to the not historically accurate Bismarck. And the Erin is really taking a pounding. I didn't really expect my light cruisers to do a whole lot, but they are actually doing a whole lot. Many bulkheads. And 2 powder TNT-3. Could fight this more at range if I wanted to, but I fear I would just run out of ammo and spend way too much time. Extensive fire. Yeah, light cruisers really performing here. Mystic. Yeah, it is quite tanky. Gurkha went down. Actually, light cruisers just keep killing those DDs. Erin sank, heavy flooding. Bismarck, King George. Let's split fire here. Bismarck now firing at 23 kilometers. You got some deck pen at that range. And quite a bit of belt pen. Yeah, we're getting belt pens. Well, this DD is just about dead. I'll send my cruisers after the battleship now. Christopher surrendered. York has actually done 24,000, Bismarck 53. But the cruisers, the light cruisers have, yeah, surprising carrying potential. Bismarck is in the lead. Yeah, 33, 25, 53. In the lead, but not by, well, probably by quite a bit now. I was about to say not by much, but then she went and scored those hits. And that is the end of King George. And that's the end of the Royal Navy. Yeah, I should have just not bothered with the DDs, just sent them away at the start of the match, just to keep them alive. But I wanted to see if the electric torpedoes worked, which they kinda did. I mean, the V2 scored 3 torpedo hits, obliterating one of the cruisers. Which one was it? Archer took 3 torpedo hits. Yeah, the 2 battleships, they were the ones sinking my DDs. But they didn't do a whole lot outside of that. The Hood did nothing. And the rest did basically nothing. So yeah. I think that was around 8 hours remaining. All ships sunk. All ships minus the DDs survived. So that is a score of 3 points for every British battleship, battlecruiser sunk. 9 points. 2 points for every British heavy cruiser sunk. That is another 6. That is 15. 1 point for every light cruiser sunk. 17. 1 point for sinking all British DDs. 18. 3 points if German battleship survives. That's 21. 2 points if heavy cruiser survives. 23. 1 point if German light cruisers survives. Is that 1 point for all 3? Or 1 point for each? So, I think it's 1 for... might be 1 for each? So... that's 26, and I did not get 1 point for keeping all my DDs alive. So 26, or 24 if it's 1 point for keeping all 3 alive. Yeah, not bad. I hope that puts me at least not at the bottom of the seasonal scoreboard so far. We'll be back with more Shipyard Champions next week, and the campaign will continue tomorrow. Goodbye, and take care.